surprisingly, because teams aren't ready to go, it seems more of just the
We are
training room.
having a lot of UI issues today.
Yeah. So because usually somebody's late or whatever, but a lot of people are lagging out.
Yeah, we haven't had a lot of that. It's been mostly just trying to get the UI, bend the UI to our will.
Yeah. So, anyway, in typical RUSHB fashion, they got a Hakuryu, a Republic, and a Yamato. They actually moved Skylaw, who's one of the BB players, up into the carrier. And then they got a rather Soviet-heavy cruiser lineup: Worcester, double Henri, double Moskva, and a Stalingrad.
Check that out.
Destroyers.
They've gone destroyer-less, whereas KSC has opted for Kuryu Bourgogne, which is the ship I didn't think I'd see in competitive play. Yamato, Worcester, Henri, a really nice cruiser mix.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it'll be interesting to see, because the Z52, if I were a betting man, I'm guessing he's going to be lurking around in B, maybe C.
Probably.
That eastern side where there's a lot more islands to use. So if I was RUSHB and I'm looking at that team lineup, I'd be thinking to myself, okay, guys, one of their destroyers is most likely going to be, lurking around in between those islands. So just be aware of that guy's location.
Well, I'm gonna be very curious to see what they do with the Z52. KSC now going for an AC. Well, I say an AC split, but it looks like the Henri and the Bourgogne are going to be the kiting force at C. They are both headed due east. Along the C line, as the Worcester and the Z52 make revolution straight for B, backed up kind of partially by the Stalingrad. Hard to say. Yamato's out gearing, all headed wide of A, headed over kind of like the 2 line now, where you're used to seeing a Zhao on this map.
Yeah, for sure. Currently, RUSHB has, it appears, a 5-3 split. They got Henri, John the Ruthless in the Republique, and Kingpin in his Henri moving west towards A. And then everybody else is fainting over towards the C area. So, pretty normal split, 3 and 5. That's pretty common.
I have to commend Brain to 6 here in his Worcester for his choice of camo. He's gone for stars and stripes on his Worcester. I just love it.
We got some Skylaw torpedoes.
Yes, I see this.
Looks like the Zhao. Defensive AA is up, so those torps are going to get spread out quite a bit.
Yep, that torpedo strike went nowhere. Look at it, it's just raining dead planes, Snake. Jeez.
Streamers have come down from the heavens into
literally,
the sea.
And they are dead. They are made of dead aircraft.
Rest in pieces, those pilots.
Well, it did succeed in turning ASR away from the cap. Drifts gearing now starting to turn back in, like he's headed that direction. These long-range hack torps are making life a pain for ASR. He's having to wait for them to go by. They're finally clear, and he can move on.
Well, hashtag as expected, the gearing is over here in the open water of the west side of the map. Where is your Z52 right now?
The Z52 is just about to be along the top end of Cap C.
Okay.
He's backed up at medium, well, more like close range by an Henri. Whose Henri is this? That is Red Rider's Henri, and a Stalingrad and a Bourgogne and a Worcester, all between them, kind of making a triangle back towards the B cap.
Dan is in a rough spot right now. He's trying to turn out.
Well, they've just lost sight of him. They have no eyes on him anymore.
Okay. Well, if he's going to make this turn, he's got to do it now, and he's doing
Nope,
so.
He's radared now. I don't know. It wasn't radar. They caught a glimpse of him very briefly, but looks like he's got hard cover now. Worcester shells no longer able to clear the island.
Yep, he's good. He is in a typical radar cruiser position in between B and C. You can kind of get radar coverage on some of both caps, or of course get all of the cap, all of one cap, I should say.
Floofy Z52 working the top end of C. Where are the carrier planes, Snake?
Well, they are non-existent. Skylaw is finally bringing a squadron over, but of course, Floopy is able to get the cap just now before that. So, yep, like you said, that the spotting is just different. So that's a play that may or may not have been able to happen in the old meta with a lot more planes around.
KSC bags a cap here early. 4 minutes gone as they start to move out to a small lead here on Warrior's Path.
Boom Diada 1 in the Henri is stern on, getting some shots at the Yamato.
So we're seeing a rocket strike come in, and Brax Hakuryu drops a fighter. Skylaw immediately Fs out the remaining planes out of that entire strike.
Well, you kind of have to at that point.
Oh, I know.
Nope. Yeah. John's also in a... John the Impaler, that is.
Floofy took some big hits there.
No, he did.
Well, he's okay. He only took about 4K there, but even after I felt like he wasn't supposed to be spotted, they still obviously had eyes on him, or they were just getting lucky. I don't know which.
You know, I got to give KSC the opening positional advantage because the double Henri and Republique are going to be virtually powerless to stop the gearing from getting A. And then, of course, there's also a Zhao over there, which is able to sneak around and obviously outspot all those ships by quite a considerable margin. So
RUSHB is very clearly making their play at sea. There's a Moskva, a Worcester, a Moskva, a Stalingrad, and a Yamato, all trying to work the south side of sea. Now, they're obviously not into the cap because, well, they're not in the cap. But, you know, they're going to be hard-pressed. They're going to have to win the damage race here. Red Riders, Henri is in a position to kite them. Whose Stalingrad is this? Long Dong Megatron. What a great name. His Stalingrad is set up to punish anyone trying to push through sea, so RUSHB's going to have their work cut out for them now that they're down 2 caps.
Yeah, and they don't have any, of course. So those point totals are going to start to shift towards killsteal confirmed, killsteal denied relatively quickly. So they're going to have to get the ball rolling here in the next minute or two.
Indeed, the destroyerless composition is going to cost RUSHB early points. The question is, can they make up for it in terms of kills later on?
And to be honest, that's generally what happens. The teams that bring the DDs do get those caps early on. But like I said, I like KSC's positioning. They got some really good, you know, they're very wide. They got ships all the way from the 1 to the 10 line. So,
quite exactly. In the total complete contrast to what you and I saw in games 1 and 2, KSC has spread their forces, picked up a couple of caps, and the impetus now is all on RUSHB to do something to change the status quo.
Well, for instance, you saw the gearing was in A, the Zhao's on the 1 line, the Yamato's on the 4 line. They get that nice little tactical triangle, if you will. Whatever way they turn, they're going to show broadside to somebody. Preferably the Zhao.
Here they come. John the Impaler's Moskva now is going to be pushing into the bottom end of C, backed up by Bison's Moskva and I Am Ullman's Yamato.
Some PEDs coming in.
Yeah,
John
but
should be fine.
He should be fine. I assumed he had his Hydra up to spot them.
Yeah, most likely. Now, that Bourgogne of Mega Zhao, he's caught Bowen. So if I were RUSHB, that's a guy that I would try. Or no, he's not Bowen. I'm sorry. He's Stern on.
He's Stern on.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Now, Brain 6's Worcester at B is about to do something very cheeky. He's about to duck Stern into B and start ticking that up because there's literally no one that can stop him except planes. And if you're a Worcester, are you really worried about planes?
Well, he's actually got, he's got a wonderful spot right here to lob shells over the corner of the island, southwest of C. He's getting some shots at Bison's Moskva. So, yeah, he's in a wonderful position to damage farm. And, of course, he's undetected. So, well, no, now he just gets detected finally. But detected or not detected for such a long time, another, you know, cause of there not being as many planes around to spot things.
Torpedo drop. Hakuryu 8-kilometer torps looking like they're going to try and come in on Long Dom, but they're going to pass him before they arm. They just armed as they went behind him. He had a perfectly gap to sit through them, so even if they had armed, they would not have hit, but literally those torpedoes didn't arm until they were past him.
And this spot that Megatron is in, I mean, it's borderline perfect because they can't push around the seaside.
They can't push. No, they're going to be very, very hard pressed to push around that island. Now, they did succeed in driving Brain out of the cap. He's not on the cap. RUSHB bags C, so that's going to...
Sorry. Ruthless
John
on the other side
just
of the
got
map.
hammered. What happened there?
Somebody was ruthless on him.
That must be the Yamato shells. Whose Yamato is this?
I think he might have taken some... I think he took a Zhao torp or two as well. You think so? I think, at the very end.
Well, RUSHB now flexing their HP advantage, shoving double Henri into A to start trying to get some of this cap control back. Brain 6 was back into B briefly, driven off now by Dan's Worcester.
Yeah, Dan's in a great spot because now he's preventing that Worcester from getting side shots on John the Impaler, so...
RUSHB still working with a health advantage, but it's going to dissipate. The gap has been mightily narrowed here.
See, now this is the tough part. KSC can't afford to get pushed back too far, because then all of a sudden everything flips on a dime, and RUSHB is going to be able to get onto B as well. So they need to hold their ground, and they need to find those low health ships to be able to get frags on.
Drift is in a bit of a bad position here. He got caught out at close range by rocket bombers. He's got a smoke much closer to an Henri than he would like.
Yeah.
The Henri is going to... Well, is he going to speed past these torps? I think the Henri is going to pass them before they can get to him.
Oh.
Ooh, they bag Drift. The Henri does take a torp. They bag Drift in smoke.
Excellent shot there by Ruthless. Disengaging after eating all that damage, but still providing good long-range fire. So
RUSHB,
excellent.
RUSHB up a ship, down up and 2 caps, but still down points early because KSC's cap control came so quickly.
Well, as I was mentioning about 5 minutes ago, KSC's positioning was great. I think RUSHB made the perfect play to be able to negate the advantage that they had by getting all those ships just clearing out all the area north of C and allowing them a little bit more freedom of maneuver.
Indeed. Look at the balls on I Am Ullman's Yamato. He's going to drive right through the gap from C to B. Who's in B? That's got to be Dan's Wooster now in B.
Yep. He's in the typical minnow spot on the southeast corner. He's not behind the island completely.
Yep, they've got eyes on him now, as it looks like Brain's radar is catching the Yamato, the Moskva, and Dan, so they know where these ships are now.
Look at AW Cruise Yami for KSC. He's caught... Well, there's torps coming, there's shots from A, there's also side shots coming in from that channel in between B and C. He's in a very bad spot right now.
He is a bit... The torps have all missed. He should be able to beat these Henris, you would think, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah. Yeah, you would think so. Boom.
Ooh. Yep, Boom takes about a 15, 18K hit there.
No pun intended. Boom.
Now, the trick is that ASR is going to have to do some of the finishing work here. And he's way off to the north. And now they have no eyes on the Henris.
Yep.
RUSHB flips the lead. We crossed the halfway mark of the match. 9 minutes to play here on Warriors Path. RUSHB on a ship lead, and KSC not ticking up any points right now. They had early cap control, but they have surrendered it all here as they have been pushed back.
Yeah, and like we were talking about, having the heavy cruiser lineup, generally you're going to be down early at the start, but being able to get all their ships in between B and C and doing so without losing anything or even losing too many hit points is definitely flipped it around in their favor. So
now
things are looking good.
Megatron is inching forward. This torpedo strike is never going to arm in time to hurt him. Whoa!
No, it does.
Those torpedoes don't show up as armed. Oh, that's that Hakuryu torpedo bug people keep talking about. I keep hearing people talk about these Hakuryu torps don't show up as armed, and they don't, but then suddenly you look down and you take damage. So something wonky going on with the torpedo arm ranges for Hakuryu still as well. But Megatron was moving up to try and push on Bison's Moskva a bit. Here comes another torpedo strike.
Yeah, Skylaw's got to drop from what? He's dropping 3 kilometers away, maybe? Yeah, about 3 kilometers away.
About 3 to 4 clicks out, yeah, but...
I don't think he's going to get a hit on this salvo, though. He dropped a little bit too far.
Well, we'll see what happens. It does look like those are all going to pass in front of Megatron Stalingrad, who's now burning in 2 places.
Yeah, nice. A very nice... I got to give credit to RUSHB here. A very nice collected push. Not too fast, not too slow, but they realized that they were on the back foot, and they were able to push in and get to those positions where when you have a heavy cruiser lineup and you can get everything pushed up to, the G, the F, even the E line. I mean, when you have all that firepower sitting there, especially this lineup, which a lot of it is nose-on firepower, it's hard. And
I missed it, but we did lose all Cruise Yamato. Calling for focus fire now on Bison. He is probably the lowest ship on the RUSHB side of the board. But Megatron also very low. And ASR, the last surviving ship literally on the western half of the map for KSC.
Long Dawn. Oh, Megazal gets Bison. Okay.
They can bag P&G. That's 2 quick kills. That's points that KSC badly needs, but they have no cap control whatsoever.
No. And, they're getting that kill on the DD early on really helped RUSHB out over at A. And the Z52 is now down. Yeah, he's down to 1/3.
He's down to about 1/3 HP. They are going to finally bag Megatron here. It's only a matter of time. He's on 700 HP.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Admiral Ping is going to be backing up to get that final
Well,
shot.
shots
He's
coming
using
in.
the heal.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Megatron is healing now. Trading
Yep.
shots with PNG's Stalin as well.
You know, something tells me that if this was the older meta, I don't think RUSHB would have been able to get all of their ships just sitting. Like,
Where
I mean,
they
look how
are.
far forward. Look how far forward they are.
Yeah.
I'd have to imagine that part of this is just due to the fact that there's not carrier planes everywhere spotting everything, because usually you don't see Henri's that far pushed up unless it's a route.
Well,
So,
it's also a double. The other problem is there's and there goes Megatron.
There he goes.
The other problem is that with Tier 10 AA is so punishing right now because of the flak bursts are still so overtuned that it's almost impossible to do anything with you can't bring carrier planes in to punish some positional choices the way you used to could.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to get there again, right? But we aren't there right now.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm confident that they'll eventually get there for sure. So yeah, a game that looks, at least score-wise, a little bit more lopsided than it actually was. KSC had a great opening positioning, but RUSHB, conversely, also made an excellent counterplay to fix their situation.
Absolutely.